Hello all my pen friends, welcome to today's adventures and hijinks. Up here we've got a scribe pen with a Salamander Flex nib, and over here you can see some remnants I got into watches. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should, because I post my pens that I'm going to sell up on Instagram every couple months, and I sold a few nice pens, so I had some money to jump into some adjacent hobbies. So I got kind of into watches. I'm doing maintenance on the new watches, taking links out, changing batteries, things like that. It's really not bad if you can do basic maintenance, like taking apart a knife and cleaning it, or fully cleaning a fountain pen here. You could probably definitely do some basic watch maintenance. Anyway, let me know if you guys want more on watches. So there we go, clean the escritoire, and we have a new package all the way from Turkey. So this is, looks like that didn't go well. That's probably the ink. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's still boxed separately. Whew, that's a good thing. All right, so my ink, my goodies bag, nice, and my actual purchase. Cool. All right, so we got some new stuff from Galen Leather, a company out of Turkey. They do just the nicest, in my opinion, work that you can get for kind of journals and pen carriers, such like that. To note, I'm not sponsored by Galen in any form. All of their products, of which I've got a couple. Yeah, I've got a couple. So, I mean, all these I bought myself. I loved them enough. I actually got the new version of this right here. So these are, A5 journal, B5 journal here. And those do carry a couple pens. In the past, when I wanted other pen carriers, I just bought a zippered portfolio because I was like, well, that'll carry another, 4 or 6 pens easily. And it does. But I am kind of looking for something to expand upon this one. This one was the original 10 pen zippered case. But what I found was, as you can see here, 10 pens was too much when I started adding girthier pens. And what that means is when I tried to do that with 10 pens in here, you would hear sounds that no fountain pen owner wants to hear when you try to close it, due to that pressure from, trying to squish two big things together. So what you can see here, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll kind of fold this back so you can see what I mean. I'm going to fold the zipper back. All right, so what I've done is I use my 10 case holder here as a 5 case, and I just alternate the pens so that when you close it, they kind of interlock, and that saves space. And then I have these nice secure pens, but I would not push it past carrying 5 in this one, at least not in the girthier pens that I tend to carry. So Galen has recently addressed this, and they came out with an Expansi-Pouch. So let's take a look. Before we do, we should check out the other goodies, right? So every time you get something from Galen, they send you a little free gift, a little zippered pouch with some other trinkets and goodies. Let's see what we got this time. So this is kind of their story, and I've gotten that one before. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but they are a small business, and they started up, and they're kind of like a family business, and they're continuing the legacy here. Oh, this is cool. I never got kind of like a postcard. And that is really cool, especially considering I love aquariums and stuff. That's neat. I wonder if that might actually be blotting paper. It feels like it has the consistency of... I've got other blotting paper here from Esterbrook, and this has the same consistency. I would bet that's actually blotting paper. That's cool. We've got another little talisman, the Evil Eye. I had a green one I gave my daughter. Here's a blue one. In Turkish lore, this basically wards off people's jealous stares. Basically, their jealous gaze is attracted to this and this talisman, and it kind of, takes the eye off of you, so to speak. So, cool thing. Put that on my daughter's backpack, right? You do have a 10% off coupon for repeat customers. I love every time I get, one of their Galen products, they send a little Galen leather pen holder here. And I'll show you what I actually use these for. So I don't actually slip carry like this. Some people do. I have on occasion, but I usually just kind of clip it to one of my pockets. So I don't really slip carry. But what these slips are great for, I found, is In other Galen products, I use the slip in this spot here. So this spot here is usually kind of open, and there's 2 pens here, and I usually don't put 2 pens here because they kind of jiggle around and they might bounce. But what I'll do is I'll put a pen in one and then down and through that pen case, and that protects that pen even better. And you know, you can still see it up here. So that's what I usually do with these. I actually put them in here, and actually, just to put money where my mouth is, I'll show you over here. I even have the good fortune of having 2 green ones, right? So even though this is cleared for 4 pens, I would just keep 2 of my nicer ones that would go down into these slips held here. So that's what I use these kind of pen slip cases that are provided for. Little tip for you. All right, let's see what else we got. More journals, less medicinals. There we go. Good for journalers. A little bit of tea. My wife likes tea, so I'll pass those along. And I also got a specialty ink here. While I was, just putting stuff in the cart, you look around and, any little things that, you might want to get, trinkets you can only get from them. You don't want to pay shipping on separately, so you toss in the cart. So I got a specialty diamine ink that you can only get from Galen, and that's Anatolia. And this is a blue with kind of a, I don't know if it's a green or gold shimmer, we'll see. Let's get to the star of the show, the new Expansi-Pouch. So this is, like I said, addressing the issue of the previous pen holder and making it oversized in every way for people who like girthy pens like myself. Nice. Oh, cool. I haven't got a nice little Galen Leather. I haven't gotten that in any of my other purchases, so that's a neat little thing. Very sturdy boxes. This is sturdy. This is not just like cardboard. They make very sturdy boxes to protect their very nice leather pouches. Slide this off. As you can see, they've been around since 2012. All right, you got their nice name there. I got my initials in this one to go ahead and match my my green initials over here too. And I will say too, these are all forest green, so there's different colors that they have, right? But these are all listed as forest green. But you can see there's slightly different tones to each, and that it just kind of is what it is, because that's the nature of, leather and dyes. Every piece is going to be a little bit unique, and that's, you see, kind of the scarring or the weathered appearance here. At first you worry about it, but then once you get a couple scratches on it, you can't like tell, did I do that scratch or was it always like that? And it kind of adds to the authenticity of the piece itself, and it makes it so you don't worry as much. So I really like this finish. Let's take a look on the inside, shall we? Got our zipper. There we go. So we've got a nice felt pad here, and this is Velcro removable. So if you do want to remove that, you can. Here we go. One thing I actually kind of liked about this is you have removable pen slips here. So, when these are in, they're kind of held in place just by the nature of, there's definitely a lot of friction on the back. Are they magnet? They actually might be magnet. Now, yep, they're magnets. That's extra cool here. So there's 4 magnets, 1, 2, 3, 4, that actually kind of keep this in place. So that's very cool. Additionally secure. So I love the magnets because when you go to a pen show, and I'll use this one, to show you. So when you go to a pen show and you bring pens, people, you kind of go like this and, you leave them out, and, people at the table you're with might be like, hey, can I see that? And you're like, sure. So they take out a pen, they, use it. And then when they go to put it in, they just kind of put it in, they kind of fumble with it. And, when you're putting it in, that process could scrape it on the zipper. So one of the things that I like is on the zippered portfolios, as with this one, this you can remove. So you can just take this out, put that on the table, and then people are just going to be much more easily able to get their pens in and out of kind of this thing without you worrying about the zipper. Now, one thing you can do, just as another Galen tip since we're on this, like I showed you before, you can always kind of like fold the zipper back on itself gently, and as long as you're gentle and you do this before other people would try to do it, you can be pretty secure. Like there's enough room you could do that. And that's what I would end up doing, is kind of doing one of these and sitting it out. But at the same time, I would rather, instead of kind of doing this, which does put stress and wear and tear on the seams, I would rather just be able to kind of take it out like this. So the magnets were an awesome touch. I really, really appreciate that in this. And I kind of like how this is removable. It's kind of nice. You can put it on either side you prefer. And that's what kind of protects the pens when you do close it. Let's take a look at the, let's zipper them both and take a look at the girth here. So this is the standard 10 over here. Here's the Expansi. You can see it is definitely wider. All right, let's upgrade, move it up. These are pretty much my pens that I have inked right now. I've got my RT Pen Company with a really sweet hammered flex nib from Salamander. What else do I have? I've got this guy here with a nib that is roughly 100 years old, century-old nib. That's a Superflex nib too, so that is top-notch. Probably my best overall favorite nib. Just overall, I can't top that nib, guys. All right, this one, we've got a Leonardo with a broad, and this one is in Sven's Ink Solutions Maple Syrup, so thank you, Sven. It goes wonderfully with this pen. Our next pen we have currently inked is a Jason Neal Tucker, and this is a, what's on that? Oh, this is a Naginata Togi grind, so that's a cool specialty grind there, and that one is in a red. It's one of the brighter reds from the new ink vent calendar. Let's see if we can put them all on the same side, see how this works actually, because this is supposed to be for bigger pens, and we're gonna put it to the test. And our next one, or last one from the original 10, but I used 5 to keep them safe, is a Scribe pen, and this is in a beautiful African Blackwood, I think it was called, and Papillion, which actually is the same resin that this comes from, so it's kind of like a sister companion piece. And this one currently has a double stack nib, so that's like 2 nibs welded together type thing to give you super surface area up front, and that is a double stack Architect, so cool. Let's see. That actually looks right about where it should be, because if you come in, you can see how none of these girthy pens actually really extends past that midway point. So I'm gonna say I actually feel pretty comfortable. Let's keep going. What do I have in my pockets? In my pocket, my pretty much always daily carry is this Visconti here, Homo Sapiens, just a classic. I can't tell you how much I love this pen. I probably will in a separate video, but I can't tell you how much I love this pen. Anyway, so let's put that one on in. Let's see what else I've got. All right, I grabbed a couple more pens. So what do we have here? First, we've got a Magna Carta 600, and this is a wonderful, beautiful pen, but it used to be the biggest one in my collection. So this is definitely a girthy pen. And at this point, guys, I will be honest, if it was literally me, I think I would probably stop there, because these pens alone are, you know, a bit pricey somewhat. And, you know, because of that, I actually don't want them. I don't want that potential. Not that they're really going to, like, these are held well, you know, they usually aren't going to, like, jostle around, right? You see that. There's no movement there. However, that said, it's still a possibility. And however remote on some nicer fancy pens, I might give it extra space like that. So even if there is any wobble imparted, it's still got some wiggle room without scratching. Oh, one more tip here. Do you see how I turn these in? That is to protect and impart less pressure on other pens. If I had this like this, it would impart more pressure, right? If I have it straight 90 degrees, that's going to impart more pressure on the guy in the middle. So I always kind of rotate it all the way back as much as I can. Anyway, let's keep going, because we're in a test. So this pen is one of my all-time favorite. I just love how this pen feels. It doesn't have a nib right now because I'm a malicious nib swapper, but so this is a fourth kind pen, and I just love the girth and just the feel in hand. But that is a girthy pen, as you can see there. It's like, you know, equally or big. It's definitely bigger than the Mag 600. All right, what else do we have? We've got a Zodiac pen here. This one is still a little bit girthy, even though it's kind of shaped. We'll put that guy over there. And a scribe pen. Scribe pens, at least the 3 that I've got, they're not exceptionally girthy, but they're definitely on the more girthy side. But they don't flare out, so it's like a very consistent size. So this one has, what do we have on here? Just a standard Bach. All right, so let's put that one in. All right, guys, here we go. We got all my girthy pens. Let's close this up and see what happens. That looks pretty stellar. It feels good. If I did those pens in here and I tried to zip it, I would hear very uncomfortable sounds that no fountain pen user wants. That is secure and nicely sized. I approve. I approve of this Expansi-Pouch, guys. You don't have to wait for an upcoming future review. I approve. This is definitely recommended over the standard one here. That said, this standard one actually fits. Hold on, I'll show you. All right, guys, you're really in for it now. This is my briefcase I take to work every day. And even though these buckles are functional, it's actually got a quick release, which is really nice. But on the inside, you'll see this case kind of comes pre-slotted with some things. There's the maker, if anybody's curious. I got this probably about 5 years ago. Absolutely recommend. But on the inside, you've got certain slots, right? And mine's fountain pen friendly. I've got my laptop. I've got this lockable case here to keep protected information. I've got a nice Rhodia notebook that I use every day that's fountain pen friendly. I've got back here is my lectern planner that I keep on me. And then we've got our Galen A5 journal that I bring with me on the daily, because I usually, if I'm writing notes or anything briefly, I'll just kind of write it in this. This spot actually fits perfectly for my little 10 pen case, the smaller original case. So this I actually will continue to use because it does fit ever so perfectly in this slot that is pre-built. And I cannot say that of the Expansi-Pouch. If I tried to fit that in there, that is not gonna fit. So even though I'd say if you're just gonna get one, get the Expansi, especially if you have larger, girthier pens. However, this one is definitely not obsolete. If you're carrying thinner pens, you know, this could fit 10 vanishing points easy. You know what I mean? So if you're carrying thinner pens, this can still carry 10. Or if you have, like I do, a particular slot that just fits perfectly, and you know, you can carry it with you every day, then that kind of usage and everyday capability might outweigh the advantages of the Expansi-Pack. But I love having both, and I'm really excited for my new Expansi-Pouch here. So thank you very much to Galen, and thank you guys for sticking with me on this video. I hope you're having a wonderful new year, and we will talk to you soon.